Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sniper Elite V2 Sniper Elite difficulty walkthrough. This is Kopenick launch site and this is a mission that quite possibly required the most amount of removing for deaths. The initial video that I recorded, the footage of the level, was about 21 minutes, 22 minutes I think. And as you can see right here, it's 12 minutes 46 seconds, maybe 45 depending on how YouTube cuts the seconds, but which would imply that it's a pretty tough mission, but it's actually not. To be fair, I was chatting to a friend on PS Party Chat, PlayStation Party Chat when I was doing this, and I don't think my head was fully focused because it's not actually too rough a mission. It's quite an exciting one, and these are the kind of missions that Sniper Elite has moved away from massively after this game. It's a very scripted, linear set of events. We've got to stop, obviously, the Ruskies from gassing London with a V2 rocket, and that's what the whole game's been heading towards. And after this, we've got one more level, which is the level I thought I was going to have the most trouble with, but it turned out to be an absolute doozy when I did it, so not too much to worry about. Now, it will be possible, guys, I'm sure, to do this entire level stealthy. Not this entire level, but this first section stealthy. And I'm sure there's some great videos on YouTube. I've not looked myself, but I'm sure there is, of people doing it completely stealthy. So if you want to do that, feel free to look at one of those. You're not going to find it here, guys, because what I tend to do with this game is, and 3 and 4 to be fair, is I use stealth quite aggressively. If it was to be compared to something that's like Splinter Cell, Blacklist, Panther style, if you ever played that game, where I'm pretty quick and lethal, do as much as I can in stealth before moving to combat, just to give myself an advantage. The stealth's alright, but it's not quite there. The sight lines aren't great. Enemies on gun emplacements and snipers can see you way quicker than anybody else, and it can all feel a bit hokey. It's much more refined in 3, and then even more so in 4. Even if it is a very simplistic Far Cry-esque stealth, it's still a lot better than what we got here. But as I say, guys, just take it easy, clear out this area. They do stop spawning. They do keep spawning on the MG turrets, I believe, so you've got to be careful for them, but just do what you've been doing to get to this point, guys. I've got all the faith you can do it. It should be easy enough at this point. And until then, until we get to the rockets, I've got some tips there. I'll talk some shop about stuff other than Sniper Elite as per. I'm sorry if that's not what you want, but that's what I'm going to do. First thing I wanted to mention is I mentioned in a previous video, it might have been on the Devil May Cry one, that I'm going to do the Modern Warfare 2 campaign veteran. It turned out that game is already out on PlayStation Plus, so I went on it last night with the intention of only doing like a few levels. I ended up completing the first 2 acts at free because it is a very fun game. Blasting through it on veteran. Favela gave me a lot of trouble, and I must have done that game about 6 times now on veteran, and they have changed a few things, but I've tried again on Favela, and it took me, it was a lot quicker. I only had about 2 deaths, or maybe 2 to 5 deaths, compared to like the 20 plus I had last night. I think I may have just been tired or something, but I was dreadful at it. But the rest of the game's been fine, as I expect. It wasn't a hardcore duty back in the day. I think the Favela was really the only tough bit. Can't think of anything else that was even remotely challenging. I'm talking, if you found the game difficult, I did back in the day, I'm talking in the perspective of COD 4 and COD World at War, which were, and if you want to go back further, like COD 2 and COD 3, that were just absolutely rock hard, especially World at War. The night and day between the difference between World at War and Modern Warfare 2 mainly comes in the grenades. But as you can see, these guys keep spawning on these guns, so just keep taking them out. Go through the church, because that's how you get a checkpoint. We should get one here, because I can see I've got an edit in here, because I'm not very good at syncing up footage of deaths, but coming up here gets you the checkpoint. Yeah, you can see the crossfades. I feel like they're not the best thing in the world. They're quite obvious, but it's probably the clearest way, or smoothest way of the video carrying on, keeping some kind of continuity. I think you guys should be able to follow it. But I was going to talk a bit more about Modern Warfare 2, but I need to bring this up. I've just been going through the recalls, my recall accounts, Google Mail. I was just checking stuff because I noticed we picked up more subscribers. It's up to 29 now, so it's come a long way. Really happy with that. And very grateful, obviously. But I noticed I've had a copyright claim on one of the Ghost Till I Die videos, part 2, which isn't actually out yet. I uploaded it, but it's scheduled for Friday. Getting copyright claims on FIFA songs, and that's fair enough. But what's bugging me? Sorry, just adjust my headset. What's bugging me with that is I did a whole 21 videos, 22 if you include FIFA, the first Girls Till I Die. I did all those FIFA 15 ones, one FIFA 17 one, and I didn't have a single copyright claim on any single one of them, and they all used FIFA 15 music. Obviously the FIFA 17 one didn't. And it's really annoying actually, because I've got loads of footage of FIFA 17 and I just hope I'm not going to lose too much, because I don't know what's going to get claimed before I send it out there, so I'm just going to have to reduce the amount of time I spend in the menus and just make it really rapid fire so we don't get claimed. Most of the claims are kind of whatever, because a lot of them are just like, stop me being monetized. I'm not monetized anyway, I'm nowhere near big enough to be monetized or earn money through this. But one of the claims is stopping the video from being seen in like 224, get my numbers right here, 224 countries, so obviously nobody can see the video, so I'm going to have to remove that segment. And in future, for future recording of the series, I'm just going to mute the EA tracks, which is fair enough. I probably should, I should have had the foresight to do that in the first place, but I got used to FIFA 15 letting me get away with it, so that's all. It's pissed me off. But I will sort it. I'm probably going to have to trim that section out, because I can't replace it with other audio without I can't replace it without other stuff going, so it's not really viable. There's not anything you're going to miss. It's not exactly the super serious series, a super serious series anyway, so you should be able to follow it. I think you'll miss like 2 signings, maybe like Naki Wells and Christian Pulisic, spoilers, but just in case, I don't think they're going to make it in the video, but you'll see them anyway playing, so it's really not a big a deal. And we don't spend a lot of time in menus anyway, so we should be able to get it sorted. And as a future recording, I'll just remove. Look out for this snipe, by the way. That is a terrible spawn point. I hate that with a passion. That guy caught me out, that's why there was a crossfade there. But coming to the end of the tangent, and in good time actually, because it's the tricky bit of the level. But yeah, just to let you know, if the Girls Till I Die Part 2 seems a bit wonky, I've had to cut 2 minutes of it out, and the ending might be a bit abrupt. But they're not bothered about the office theme. That I'm being allowed to get away with. But end of my tangent, and in good timing, because this is the section where I cut about 6 minutes of footage because I kept dying. So what happens here is, guys, you've got to protect this little bunker area. Oh, is it like a train station, kind of? Yeah, isn't it? It's a train there. You've got to protect this while that V2 rocket fuels in the background. You might have just seen it just then. So start off by taking out these 2 guys stealthily. You don't want to give your position away, guys. And I put landmines here, but that dynamite's not necessary. But basically I'm trying to make sure that I put landmines to cover me, but they're not going to blow me up. Because the first time I did this, it was going really well, and then I blew myself up, and I was not a happy bunny, I must say. Kind of similar to what happened in that fail video I did a while back. But I'm not going to be very aggressive in this section, because you can just kind of hide in the corner until the rocket's fueled and do this mission really quick. So I recommend you do the same, but as you can see, you're going to get a lot of landmines here, so definitely use them. And this section obviously features in Zombie Army Trilogy. Now I get spotted way before I wanted to, but this is the run that worked, so you don't have to be perfect. It'll be that guy that saw me, of course. Ideally I like to leave landmines right at the bottom of this area, but I didn't this time. But this is the strategy, guys. Get the PPSH out, or whatever gun you're rocking, or your rifle if you're confident with it at close range, and just hold out. I tried to be aggressive, as I say, on the previous a few attempts, but it just wasn't working for me. So, but this worked, so it's boring but effective. Which I think you could describe every strategy I've ever done in a game, to be fair, but yeah, the landmine's doing the job. But if you're wondering, guys, the V2 rocket is currently fueling, and once it gets into a fully fueled position, you're able to shoot it down. So that's all we're doing is waiting. It is a time thing. It's not like some games would do, eliminate so many enemies, and then the rocket will, fuel through contrivance. This one, it actually is fueling. You just have to hold out. So yeah, not the most exciting, but it's effective. And this is what walkthroughs are, in my opinion, because anybody can replicate this. As long as you've got 2 hands, a good heartbeat, you can literally do this. There is nothing that can stop you. And those are the best walkthroughs in my opinion. If you've made a walkthrough and somebody's first opinion is, I can't do it, then it may be the best footage ever, the most skilled gamer in the world, you know, but you failed as a walkthrough. But anybody can do this, you do not have to be some godlike gamer. And I'm sure there's some great footage out there of people being really aggressive, but this works, just staying in the corner. And I don't think this is even my strategy, this is one that my friend provided me, and you know, not to rag, but like he doesn't spend as much time doing hard difficulties, he doesn't play games anywhere near as much as I do, and this is where sometimes that can help, because they'll look for a much easier strategy, whereas someone like myself can get a bit cocky at times. That definitely was the case in the last level, where I was struggling so much and not seeing a really easy cheeky spot. I think sometimes when you do so many games on hardest difficulty and some challenge runs, like, you know, I've done DMC1 on Dante Must Die, I can do any game, and you get yourself stuck in a rut when you could probably do things a lot easier. But there you go, one guy's finally got in. Took about 3 minutes. You can see landmines are still getting kills, but that's interesting. I think that's, maybe not everyone feels that way who's done a lot of hard difficulties, but I think sometimes my confidence can get better of me. And I'm like, oh, why am I finding this difficult when there's probably a really easy strategy that I'm just not using. Now, the rocket, there you go, there's the checkpoint. The rocket is practically done. There's only a minute left of this video, so it should be done. But there you go, you got 10 seconds to hit the rocket. And there you go, that's the shot that does it. Funnily enough, when I was recording that first bit of commentary you heard, I realised I left a death in there, so if it felt a bit wonky there, that's why. But there you go, hit the rocket. I left this cutscene in because it's kind of, you know, very cheesy. You know, it's very, gives me massive like 80s action film vibes. Could definitely see Arnold Schwarzenegger doing like something like this, and barely having a scratch on him. Like when the Predator shot him with that cannon, and which normally tore limbs off other people, but when it hits Arnold Schwarzenegger, it just gives him a cut on his right bicep. But there you go, cheesy shot, doesn't look at explosions. But that's the mission, guys. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you for the final mission.